the Detroit Lions. With that, let's head inside the Ford Field in Detroit. We're standing by are the two men who will bring you this one, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Now a first down throw, Stafford. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. And marked him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. That one goes for 24 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Dalvin away and bring up second down.
He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
He spins free. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 22 carries, 89 yards.
And as we discovered in talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, going up against a team that struggled against the run has only emboldened them to run the football more. I expect 40 to 50 carries in this game.
And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. On third down, Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. The Vikings first down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Cousins now on 2nd down. Finds a seam inside the 40. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Glover Quinn there on the stop.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Cousins. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That goes for a gain of 31.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I can just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Here's Cousins. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
So out now come the Lions. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
It's complete to Golden Tate. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. He got 29 yards that time.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. To throw is Stafford. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route. and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. You see what Riddick was able to do in last week's ball game. 18 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown.
So he scored his 8th touchdown on the ground last week, and most guys I know, they want to get into round numbers. So, 10 is really the goal, and this is one sport where being selfish and scoring touchdowns is a good thing. Look for he and the offense to try and get him in there at least twice in this game.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
Play fake. Cousins. Flushed out right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. Cousins in the offense is going to stay out there. They're going to try on 4th down. They'll indeed go for it. It's Cousins. And it is incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. And, partner, I'm not really sure what in the world they were thinking on 4th and long there at this stage in the game, but do you think social media may be firing up a little bit right now?
Oh, the coach is trending right now. Right? There's no doubt about it. People are wondering what that decision was. But it takes me back to a number of years ago. A very successful coach in the league had told himself before a playoff game he was going to be aggressive. No matter what, he's going to be aggressive. And it ran his team into some real problems early, and they got upset in that playoff game. Let's see if this team can recover.
Well, that's aggressive in capital letters with glitter, 7 underscore. I mean, that's the definition of aggressive.
Yeah, you can almost hear the cheerleaders doing the be aggressive chant behind him, and he listened to it.
A gain of 4 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. He's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. In for the score. And the Lions are in for 6. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give them 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn them a fresh set of downs.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. They run again on 1st down. Cook. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. It's another 10 yards on that one and another 1st down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
They pitch it out to Cook. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Give the tackle to Tease Tabor that time.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's at the cornerback position.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins steps away to his left. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the 1st down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Third and short yardage, Cousins. And he fires one, but incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. 4th down, Cousins. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
And Detroit getting set to go now. There have been points on the board. We just saw back-to-back touchdown drives. I love it. I'm high-fiving our statistician, Christian McLeod, and you're angry. You're a defensive guy.
If you met one of my defensive coordinators, God rest his soul, I'm surprised he isn't in this booth right now wanting to really take you on. This is not football the way he sees it. He wants a good old-fashioned kicking game, defense, field position, and we're getting an up and down the field game here.
I'll take him. Where's his tombstone?
Boot Hill, baby.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Eric Kendricks leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Pass interference, defense.
So instead of fourth down, first down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on, because 3rd down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
Stafford on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And he comes back with one complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. They go play action here on 1st down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Riddick. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They get 5 yards on the run there. Still left staring at a 3rd and about 14.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
3rd and long. It's Stafford. Out to the flat for Riddick. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Fielded about a yard deep. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself, at this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The Vikings on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Now Cousins. Hard throw, incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
On 4th down, they do snap it to Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it, predictably, at least somewhat predictably. It doesn't pay off, and the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Out of the gun, Stafford. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Theo Riddick, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are in for 6.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Partner, they're less than 2 minutes to go in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellas in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. Operating from the gun, Stafford. And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
All right, boys, here we go. Set, 180.
From the gun, Stafford. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. In for the score. And the Lions are in for 6. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Prater for the extra point, and that'll make this a 6-point game. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Kirk Cousins now gearing up to lead this offense back out there. You know, normally he's probably pretty happy with his performance at this point. He's played pretty well. Bottom line, they're down on the scoreboard, so I'm guessing he's not that happy.
No, the fantasy owners who have him for this week, oh, they're happy with what's going on. But for him leading a team, trying to win a ball game, I agree with you. Not happy at all. Trying to figure out.
And that's caught inside the 30. A big play there just before halftime. And even 40 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dez Bryant, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have tied it. They can grab the lead with a PAT. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. So here come the Lions now. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Riddick with a carry. And he powers his way up past the 30. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Set. 250.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Stafford now 11 of 17 passing thus far. He's got his guys a 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. So I'm waltzing down Main Street, got an umbrella, just a torrential downpour, and I look over, and this guy, stone-faced, wearing a poncho that says, "Don't rain on my parade," and he is just angry. And we got to go. I'll tell you the rest later. Here we go, third quarter. And he's going to wind up bringing this one inside the 45-yard line.
Now, that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. On play action, Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's James. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Cousins to throw for it on 4th. He completes it to Bryant. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out.
They accepted the risk, and it was rewarded. What a catch on 4th down to create a first down situation. But one more time, what a catch.
And what a catch. It was close, perilously close to a turnover on downs, but picked up the first.
How about him getting his feet down, though? That's footwork.
Throwing his Cousins. James has got it. Complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
They'll run with Cook. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
To throw is Cousins. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 20 on the year, and the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get...
Oh, this is blocked. This is going the other way. But he will not be able to bring this one back, in the extra point attempt unsuccessful.
Well, times have definitely changed on the PAT, on the extra point, haven't they? A lot more effort goes into this play from both sides.
Yeah, because let's face it, a lot of time on extra points, the effort is not what it is when you're trying to block a field goal.
No doubt about it. And before, when the ball was snapped on the 2-yard line, it was really a virtual chip shot. Now everyone believes they can get to it and knock it away, and we know how crucial every point is. So the defensive guys, they spend a lot more time trying to get that done, which means there's more pressure on the offensive guys trying to kick it.
On the ground, it's Riddick. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Andrew Sendejo in on the stop. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
Over the middle, complete to Tate. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And that is incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
This is taken at about the 14. Uses the spin. How about another? Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. On 2nd down, Cook. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The Vikings on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. First down. Here's Cousins. Bryant with a catch right side. Able to corral him right at the midfield stripe following the sparkling display of footwork. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. That good for 19 and a first down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
They run. Cook. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
2nd down, Cousins. Buying time to his left. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Here's play number 6. They go play action. Cousins. Flood where they need it. It's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick.
Seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. They'll fake it. Now Stafford going for it all. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. Instead, it's incomplete. Boy, that really could have turned this one upside down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. To throw is Stafford. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. From the gun, here's Stafford. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Theo Riddick there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's... And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the fourth. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now. So you're not protecting a lead. So you're not playing that way. You got to go get the lead again.
And got his man complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 41 yards. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, what, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving day. You know, when we get together this year, when the Davises and the Gardens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like they're drawing them up in the dirt. And so far, it's working for both of them.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now he's flushed out right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A gain of 32 that time.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Hey, we're good, we're good.
They'll throw again. Cousins dancing to his left. And he rifles one incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Kirk Cousins, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings are going to take the lead.
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
On second down, here's Stafford. Wide open receiver, complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. And they get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on third. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it.
Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit and not go down and fumble the ball.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And he's able to find Diggs. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing here, Cousins. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Cousins to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Cook. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. Here's Cousins. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. So a pick 6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick 6 going the other way.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right. Usually
it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Now Cousins. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Cousins. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This will be 3rd and 15. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a first down. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And this is caught at the 8. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That one goes for 24 yards. They'll run for it with Cook, and he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. Now here's a timeout, as they will indeed call it with 5 seconds to go and a chance with a field goal to win the game. And his kick here is good. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. He hasn't missed a kick all year. Why would he start now?
That's a great question, isn't it? Well, maybe because that was the most nerve-wracking kick he had to attempt all year, but he knocked it through just like it was an easy chip shot.
Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. Well, this one, partner, was fun down to the very end. They got the points late, right before the whistle. Then the ensuing kickoff. They were hoping for magic on the other side, but couldn't get that spark.
Fun if you won, and fun for us, because we got to watch it and call it. That magic that you were talking about didn't occur at the end, but what a game all the way through.
So for the Vikings, their very slim playoff hopes remain as they move to 6 and 7.